What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH USD. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 5th day of August, and shout out to the Dragon Riders, House of the Dragon. Shout out to you guys. Somebody was asking who the House of the Dragon is, who the Dragon Riders are. Are you referring to the TV show? No, I'm not referring to the TV show. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out in time. Don't you worry. But until then, let's get into the TA. Okay, here we are. This video is going to be more geared toward the long-term perspective, okay? This is going to be really good for any new viewers who are curious about Bitcoin Cash, any old viewers who are looking to get jazzed up. We're going to get real preachy in this video, so again, hit that like button, subscribe, get your popcorn, your juice ready, whatever, and let's get into it. Bitcoin Cash, for its entire life, really, has been in this range, where it's been seeing lower highs, cycle over cycle, and higher lows, cycle over cycle. We are entering Bitcoin Cash's first, second, third bear market phase, but I don't even know if we're in a bear market, right? Bitcoin started its bear market in October, started it here. Bitcoin Cash, I guess, topped off here and was coming down, but really, you've just been consolidating for such a long time, and you've just freshly broken out of this consolidation phase. If we find support here, we continue to grow, I don't know if I'd call this a bear market. I don't know what I would call it. It's just sloppy price action. It's interesting is what it is. I think it's manipulated personally, but that's a discussion for another time. Really where we are from a low to a high is we're at the golden ratio zone. We're right at the golden ratio, perfect area to find support. We found support here before. We found resistance here before. We found support, some resistance, and support all in this area before throughout Bitcoin Cash's existence at various different times. And here we are in this range. Now, imagine being in a range like this for 1, 2, 3 bull markets. 1, 2, this isn't, I wouldn't call this a bear market, but 3 bear cycles for crypto at least, okay? 3 bull markets, 3 bear cycles. When you break this range, if you were to go down, I would expect it to be pretty dramatic to the downside. If you break it to the upside, I am expecting it's going to be pretty dramatic to the upside, okay? My point here is that this range will not last forever. It will likely not last even going into this next cycle. We will probably break out of it at some point. And when it breaks out, we're going to see some spectacular growth that will shine bright in this crypto ecosystem. I really do believe that the best days are ahead of us, not behind us. This was a phenomenal pump here. This is a phenomenal pump. I think we're going to see larger movement overall. I really do think that we're going to see a move that from here, once it gets going, it's going to take us to new all-time highs, and that Bitcoin Cash in time will see prices that are akin to what Bitcoin's at right now, 64K, 100K, beyond that. Some of you might be asking, hold on, wait a minute, Bitcoin Cash, isn't that the knockoff, the scam version of Bitcoin? Isn't it a failed project? First off, it's none of those things, right? It's no more a lower high project that's going down than it is a higher low project that's going up. It's been consolidating. It's been incubating its whole entire life. Bitcoin Cash has been developing. There's a solid, robust community of holders and buyers and speculators alike. Okay? I guess it's all the same thing, really. And Bitcoin Cash itself, if you look into it, is actually more cohesive. It's more akin to what the Bitcoin white paper is supposed to be than BTC is itself. BCH is more like what Satoshi had envisioned than BTC is. You can study it yourself. If you don't want to study yourself, you can ask Grok. You can ask your favorite AI, ChatGPT, whatever, Claude. Which one adheres more to Satoshi's original white paper of Bitcoin? And Bitcoin Cash absolutely does. It's the purest version of peer-to-peer electronic cash that we have. And it's got the same upbringing, the same story that Bitcoin has in itself. It's been around since 2009. It says 2017 here. That's when the hard fork happened. But since 2009, since Bitcoin's first Genesis block, Bitcoin Cash has that same Genesis block. So it's actually been around for a longer time. Whenever this thing rips, whenever this thing starts to move, what I'm asking you to consider is not how glorious the price action will be, how phenomenal it'll be, right? Whenever you hear the thought of, oh, Bitcoin Cash going to $60,000, $20,000, I want you to just think about what it means first to see new all-time highs. right? Beyond the price growth, beyond the fact that it would be a 20x if we got to new all-time highs. What's going to happen is everything that the majority, not everybody, but the majority of people have been claiming about Bitcoin Cash, have been saying about Bitcoin Cash, everything they've said will no longer matter. It will have been proven false. It will, at least to some degree, encourage people to question, what if I was wrong? What am I missing here? Why is this thing pumping so much? I thought this was a dead project. I thought this was a failed project. Why is it at new all-time highs? And then once you ask that question, right? Because here's the deal. Most people in crypto have not asked that question about Bitcoin Cash. They have not asked, what's the big deal about this thing? Why should I care? They've written it off. They've written it off as a scam, as some kind of wannabe poser coin with a failed community, all that stuff. Whenever it's up here, they will be forced to actually do some research into the project. Because there will be people here who are saying, oh, this is a scam, it shouldn't be pumping. And then there's going to be people who look into it, they're like, wait a second, if it's a scam, why is it pumping so much? Oh my God, it's pumping because people are realizing it's the real Bitcoin. It's actually better than Bitcoin. It's actually cheaper, faster to transact. It's more malleable. It's actually good that it's being developed and that there's a general consensus of development in the ecosystem here, that there's some real collaboration going on. There's not all this infighting. There's infighting in every community, and there will be infighting as this community grows. Of course it happens. But what people are really going to start to see is that this is a second chance for Bitcoin. That this is another opportunity to get in. This is the opportunity that they wish that they had. Instead of buying Bitcoin at 64K, they can buy it at $4,000. You can buy store of value coin, or you can buy peer-to-peer electronic digital cash, which as far as I'm concerned is Bitcoin. And you can buy it here and it's still cheap, or you can buy it right now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. My average is like right around this price, so I'm definitely looking to buy some more Bitcoin Cash. Absolutely. I thoroughly believe that we're going to see new all-time highs, and when we do see new all-time highs from a high to a low, the expectation there would be that we go anywhere from $13,000 to $53,000. Specifically, I like this central target right there at about 23K. That's my target that I have in my head. BCH BTC, we look at this chart, and there's some details that are coming to light. First off, grotesque, terrible, so sad. It's not fun. I don't like seeing a chart like this versus Bitcoin and it be a project that I heavily invest in myself. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I think what we're seeing here is what's known as a rounded bottom, a saucer pattern, a frying pan pattern. If you look up any of those terms, you'll see that these are long-term patterns that typically have and not typically, always have a rounded bottom. And what this suggests is that a trend, a downward sloping trend, is shifting, that there is accumulation happening over a long period of time. And whenever you see this shift happening, it's not shifting to shift back, typically, right? That's the idea. It's shifting to shift direction entirely. And what we're getting set up for here really is, in my opinion, a parabolic move, something that could see some immense recovery. And this is all versus Bitcoin. This is BCH to BTC. Clearly, we can see that you're in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. Clearly, you can see that something different has been going on now since 2023, at least, if not technically since July of 2022. 4 years, if you don't want to say 4 years, then at least 3 years, right? Something different's been going on. We've been moving sideways. Most cryptos versus Bitcoin, they don't do that. They just keep going down. Maybe they have one wicked pump and then they come out, whatever. But this sustained effort where you're not seeing decrease, where you're actually maintaining your value versus Bitcoin at a low point at least, you don't really see that. That's unprecedented, and I think there's going to be a rebound effect that comes from this. And if I'm right in assuming that, and we're right as Dragon Riders, as a community of holders, in assuming that, the idea would be that we move somewhere around 2.2% to 10% of a Bitcoin. The 382 common retracement level, or the golden ratio, very common retracement level. And this could all happen the way that I have it drawn here. This is like out at 2028, 2030, the time of the next bull market peak, the next cycle peak area, we could see something up here. Now imagine it's the end of the next bull cycle. Imagine that we're at 2.2% of a Bitcoin, 10% of a Bitcoin. Bitcoin's worth 64K right now. All-time high is at 120K, 126K. The end of this next cycle, Bitcoin should be worth multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. It should be worth multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if it is, 2%, let's just say, of $200,000 is $4,000 in price. Now, that's not new all-time highs, but it's pretty damn close. And actually, it'd be 2.2%. So that would probably take us to new all-time highs. This isn't that, hold on. This isn't the incredible growth to 13K, but if we were to see that kind of growth to go to $4,300, that's a 20x still. Maybe that's all the next cycle promotes, is that we move up here, and then we have our bear market, we load up, and then the very next cycle, maybe it's 2 bull markets from now before we actually, and the way that I drew it, that it would actually be by 2030 that we were up in this area, but still, that's not the point. Maybe it's 2 cycles from now that we're up in this area, not the next cycle. But in time, we will get there. In time, we will get there. And I think that it will be this next cycle because, again, this consolidation phase is about to break out. We move out, guys. We're breaking out of a multi-cycle, lifelong consolidation phase. The move that's going to accompany that, I don't think it'll take us to our all-time high level. I think it'll take us through there. And the primary target's on the 1272 to the 1618. This is the area in question that's in mind. This would be where we would go, very likely. And again, that's if Bitcoin's at 200,000. If Bitcoin's at 400,000, now we're at, 8K, 9K, something like that. And that's only if BCH BTC hits the 382. If we go higher, if we see prices that are around the golden ratio, 6.8%, you can multiply that, do the math yourself if you want, but that adds up with this target area that we're identifying here. Bitcoin Cash BTC is clearly rounding off. Whether it's accumulation or not, the test of time will have to prove that. If it's not, we start to drop, that could be all she wrote for Bitcoin Cash, guys. That could really be the end of it. If we break out of this triangle to the downside, I'm not drawing it the best, but I don't really care to. If we break out of it to the downside, then that's bad. It's really bad. And it's probably, at that point, yes, it probably will be a failed project. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I don't think that's what we're witnessing here on the BCH BTC chart. There's momentum building. We look at the monthly time frame. The MACD is ready to cross through the zero. Okay, it slipped red for its first time ever, but it's flipped red and we haven't moved down. We've actually just been moving sideways since that happened. We're about to cross through the zero, which is very bullish. The RSI is no longer getting oversold in these low areas. It's actually just holding. Stochastics have been oversold for a little while. Time to come up. Whatever. You're rounding out your bottom. I don't know. Looks good to me. A little bit of a bounce off the oversold zone there on the weekly time frame. Weekly MACD is about to cross up. Stochastics look like they want to cross up as well. I think there's going to be some bullish stuff that happens in the coming days. Now, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I don't think that down here at $212, I don't think that this will last forever. Bitcoin itself may move lower, and Bitcoin Cash, it's completely possible, even likely, I think, that Bitcoin Cash has found its bear market low. If not, we can go a little bit lower. I don't think that we'll see an extremely lower price from here. I don't believe that we're going to go too much below this low if we do go below it. But it's completely possible that Bitcoin Cash has found its low while Bitcoin itself has lower to go. I do believe that in the coming weeks and months, Bitcoin Cash will be growing in price, and that over the coming months and like the next year, we'll probably consolidate in this area with higher lows coming in, a nice consolidation phase like we saw back here, right? Like we saw here. We even consolidated here in this area for like 4 months. I think that we will consolidate for at least some time, at least the next month or two, if not longer, in this area. And anytime we come out of this, we should probably come back down somewhere around this. There's going to be time is all I'm trying to get to. There's going to be time to accumulate, time to buy. You don't need to feel like you have to FOMO into every pump that we get, okay? But at the same time, $212 is a great price. $350 is a great price. $700 is a great price compared to where we're going to go. So seize the opportunity when you can, DCA as you can when you can. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but that's my approach. That's what I'm doing. I think this thing has immense potential, and I don't have really anything else to say, so I'm just going to end it there. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bouncing off the oversold zone, that's a very positive thing, actually, on the monthly time frame. MACD is sloppy, but the price action is for once, actually very choppy and sideways on the monthly. So the monthly MACD actually might not have much much significance to it. The weekly time frame might have more. But even here, you're choppy and sideways. You've been red for a while. You're about to flip green. It's that time. Bullish divergence on the stochastics, bouncing off the oversold zone on the RSI. If you move up from here, it looks good, man. Soon enough, we will be back above $300. Soon enough, we'll be back above 400. And then at this rate, man, I mean, it's going to be increasingly obvious that this was just a gift to be down at this level. Seize the opportunity while it is, and I will see you on the next one. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.